is 8th of July. So we're back from a long holiday weekend, and let's look at what SPY did today. So we started up on a small gap up. Again, this is the all-time high. That's what we ended at on Friday. And so we gap up to a new all-time high. And we finished the bear cycle. You see here, there's some long wicks here. So there are some sellers, but really I think that the whole reason why we go below VWAP after first 40 minutes or so is just simply because there's just no buyers here at the all-time high. So there's no one wanting to chase. And so we start trending down, and then so this is like a good time to go short. So we go below VWAP, and we're actually below VWAP most of the day. However, VWAP is a very gentle sloping, like downward sloping line. So that tells us this is actually really just a low probability trading environment. You can try going short here and then going long here. But the truth is, like, the stock is going to have to do most of the work. So let's look at our picks for today. Let's see here. Okay, so let's sort by volume. Okay, Intel. Okay, this is our pick today. So we see Intel gap up, hold that gap, and so we go up above VWAP, and then we compress for a while before we finish just higher. What this is telling me is that there isn't a good place to enter here. I did attempt to enter, but I scratched out somewhere around here. And the reason why was because at this point it wasn't going to move, like I have a time stop. And so looking back, I see that when Intel broke out, really the only way you could have made gains here is if you bought on the close on Friday. And so that's definitely some strategy I'm going to have to identify is if something breaks out, when to look at buying it, or do I think it's going to come back down? Now, I'm starting to think that maybe this is a good strategy, is to buy at the end of the day and then identify that you just manage your position here at the opening. And so if you saw this, you'd be in a huge profit. This is pretty bullish though. And ending at the high of the day, we have a good chance to now make a run at the 100 SMA. So we'll see. I think this is something to watch because we broke out of this channel and we filled the this gap here, this earnings gap. So TPX. Okay, TPX we were looking to short actually, but it was gaining today. So not really something I want to trade. I mean, obviously this is actually a beautiful trend chart here, but just trading against the trend, you're never quite sure if you find sellers, because this is a SPY trend day here, and it went down. So it's hard to say what is going on with the stock, but if it continues to behave like this, it's probably not something I'm going to trade in the future. Tesla. All right, Tesla gapped down and sold, but then went back up above VWAP. This is actually a pretty ideal setup, and it's a setup that on this closest candle, I would definitely enter right here near VWAP. And you see you could have made nice gains. If you entered here, you would have actually been profit the whole day. And if you sold up here, you could potentially have made like $4 or $5 in gains. PLTR. PLTR also a very nice setup. So we gap up, but we sold. We find support here at anchored VWAP from Friday, and then we come back up here. So we do have a chance to enter right here, and then as long as you weren't shaken out, if your stop was say down here, then we could ride these gains all the way through the end of the day. Meta. Meta was short today, so not a good one to go long on. Delta Airlines, also something I'd like to short. It actually gapped up and then sold quickly, but it never made it past this anchored VWAP here. And so it's basically inside yesterday's range, or sorry, Friday's range. So not really a high probability trade. Win, this is a good short because we immediately go below the low of the previous day, and so we're below VWAP. You see here both VWAPs are sloping down, so you enter here and then you just ride all the way throughout the day. AMD did gain again. Again, this is a really tough price action to get into, so it's difficult to say when you can enter. Truth is, probably the only truly good entry on this is if you right around here. Let's see here, 12. Let's see, we close at 12:20, and let's look at what SPY is at 12:20. So 12:20 here. So we're still below VWAP, but we did find support. So here you can see we found support at the low of the day, and this is when we were in a bearish cycle, but we're actually flat for these candles. So you actually probably could have gone long here because maybe at least the market wasn't going to hurt you. However, it is difficult to say whether getting in here you would keep going or you'd continue to chop. And the truth is, the only good entry was probably at the end of the day, Friday, because then you'd be closer to VWAP from Friday. All right, Datadog. This is another one we want to go long on. Sorry, let's see here. We want to go long on. Now it gapped down, and then it made above VWAP, but the only opportunity to enter because it gapped down so far was actually right around here. So it's not really a good profit potential here. Starbucks, great short. Right around here, we clear VWAP and anchor VWAP. So you could have entered in any for a while here. You had an opportunity to enter. So we consistently test against anchored VWAP from Friday, and we don't go above it. So if you set your sell order somewhere near here, you would have made a huge profit going all the way down. Iran, looking to go long on this one, but it just didn't present an opportunity. Google also, didn't necessarily give us an opportunity to gap down and then sold immediately. And then so I had to find its legs all the way down here. So, you could have entered up here, but it was pretty choppy all day. AI, again, something we want to go long on, but we have mixed overlapping candles all the way up here, and so it's very volatile. Not something I want to get in on the trade. And you can see the volatility continues with long red bars and long green bars. Walmart sold off, and then we got some tails here, mixed overlapping candles. This isn't really quite the clean price action we're looking for. AP, same thing here. We go up above, we gap up, go up above VWAP, and we see we have a buy signal here. Unfortunately, after 15 minutes, if you see this like long bearish engulfing candle and then you close below VWAP, you're not quite sure. So this tells me that there's buyers and sellers here. Really difficult to make a trade on. Costco sold off here. UAL. This is one we were looking to short, but we never made it past the low of Friday. So it's like you could short here and you just get chopped, but you would have been in profit. It's just not high probability. LY. LY did give you the opportunity to enter. You see here, we have this upward sloping VWAP, and you could have actually entered at VWAP and make a nice gain here before it capitulates, and then we sell off. Net here. Thing about net is that it met up against resistance with the 100 SMA and then retreated. So this is now a pretty low probability trade. We can look at it again tomorrow and see if it makes a retest or if it continues to go down. Okay, ARM very choppy today. Again, like the market's not going anywhere and the stocks are following suit. NBO, same. CDX, same. Microsoft, same. You see here, these are low volume stocks, or lower than normal. So it's really difficult to make these trades with the way that they look. MU, okay, MU is interesting because this is something now we're looking to short. So MU, you see here, we retreated back below AVWAP, but the problem is we're above the 50 SMA, and it's shown to prove to be really strong support. So we're really trapped here in a tight range, and it's not something that's easily traded. Okay, Southwest, love, really choppy all day. Apple, it did finish at the high, but it's pretty choppy. Again, it made a new all-time high today. So potentially you can make an entry here because it makes a test of a VWAP from Friday. Shows like its legs here, and then we get above VWAP, and so you can enter that VWAP, and you would have been positive the rest of the day. So it's actually a fairly strong stock. UGT, chop, FSLR, chop, Netflix, chop, Adobe, doesn't get up above VWAP until, anchor VWAP until here. So it doesn't really give you that much of a trade, and you're within the trade's range. You just barely managed to get into the gap here. Okay, so let's look at the picks for tomorrow. All right, I'm gonna look again at Intel. A lot of reason to be bullish on this, but it's in new territory here. So we have a good range of like $2 before we make it to the 100 SMA. Let's see. We cleared this trend line, and so we cleared horizontal resistance by a lot, and so this gives us some room to run to the downside. Rocket rejected heavily off of AVWAP, and now we're gonna make a test again at the 100 SMA. So it's just something I'm looking forward to. I would say here, if we can close below this candle, 1305, let's set alert. Okay, it might be something I'm interested in. Okay. Tesla, it's still making its breakout, so we may be entering a zone of compression here. Just something to keep an eye on. Nike made a new low. This is excellent stock to short. And so this is something we want to look at. Let's see here. Could have entered right here. Now I did like compress for a bit, and this is actually, these are horizontal resistance lines. These were the previous lows after earnings. And so you see here, that's why we got some buying compression, but you see VWAP is still descending. So this is something you could have just set a buy order at the top of one of these candles, probably gotten executed here, and then you would have made plenty of money to the downside here. PLTR. PLTR. Okay. We're up. We're above this horizontal resistance. We're above these trend lines. So we got some clear room to run. Now we're in like sort of this upward sloping channel, but again, we do have some room, and we're above all major SMAs. So it's a good D1 trade right now. Roblox. So I picked this because we broke above this trend here, line here. We're above all these major SMAs. We finally filled this gap. So a lot of good things to look at in terms of being bullish for Roblox. Delta Airlines, again, this is one of my shorts I really like. We had some retracement today, but it's just showing that even on a gap up with flat at the all-time high, we had a lot of selling pressure here on this. BLMN, 2 straight selling days. This is something that popped up on the scanner, so definitely gonna look at it again, and there might be some momentum. Win, again, huge down day today after a couple of dojis, so it showed there's still lots of selling activity, and I think buyers gave up a little bit. AMD, we cleared horizontal resistance, and we're now outside the zone of compression. And so this gives us a really good opportunity to, we have some headroom here to keep going. Square rejected off of AVWAP-E. And so this is kind of interesting because it was one of my short picks. I was looking for this kind of day because you see you have like on volume these like long red bars with like huge wicks on them. So this tells me like sellers are still here, even though we have this D1 pattern that's going long here. It's not. It's very small and short on tiny volume, and I figure we'd reject off of this. So the only thing is there's not much room to the short side, but what it is we do have some room to probably sell a call credit spread, which I've already done. I took profit on. WBA, another down day. Beak. Okay, this one clearly rejected off of AVWAP-E, and we come back below these SMAs. So I think we have some downside here. So this was a nice test on when the market was moving higher, and I think we'll continue going down. Chipotle, really big day for it. It poked its head below the 100 SMA, so we're gonna look and see what kind of action we have tomorrow to see if we keep going. Starbucks, again, we're looking to keep selling, and we have some room before we get to this low here. Bros, just a general upward trend. Again, we're at near the all-time high, so we're just looking to see like how much more movement we can. Again, there's no resistance up here. That's why I have it on my list. PCOR. Okay, PCOR. It was on an upward trend, made a test against these major SMAs plus AVWAP-E, and it looked like it had support. But you can see here that actually these last few days have been like low volume, like 40 or 50%. And so these weren't moves to be trusted. This was a move that was trusted. We had some volume to get up to AVWAP. But today the sellers came back and sold off. So this is probably like a lot of profit taking too. People just got an opportunity to get out of their positions. Marvel, good upward trend now. We've broken through these major averages, and we got some room to run. Looks like there's some horizontal resistance though. So I'm going to mark these up. Let's get it with this and here. So this will help us identify if we get above these horizontal trend lines or resistances. CF, good short. MCD, another good short. Lulu, another good short. UAL, another good short. So again, just like some things I want to look at. LLY, continually climbing. Made a new all-time high today, but retreated. Google, also near the all-time high. So, some of these, because they're at the all-time high, I'm interested in them. Let's see what picks here are of interest. FSLR, we're tight. We're stuck in this compressing range here. It's pretty clear that we have some support, but we also have resistance. We didn't even get close over to AVWAP, and we're not making over the 50 SMA. So we're going to see if we keep testing it or if we finally reject off of it. But because we're hanging around here, I think it will break through and we'll test AVWAP again. We'll see. AMAT, another one that's near the all-time high. PBF. Okay, another short that we can look at, but it's kind of at the downward end of this channel. So what we're looking for is a breakthrough. So if we get a breakthrough, let's say 42.30. Yeah, let's go 42.30. We'll be interested. And lastly, Adobe. Adobe made it past this horizontal resistance line that I pointed out. You see we have some touches here. So we want to see if this is support. We do have room to the upside, but today we had a bullish hammer. That's a good sign. We had gap down. So there's a lot of good price action here that indicates it wants to go higher. But what the market will do, it's hard to say because the market has been helping to push us up. And so while it does have some relative strength, it's actually because technically we've had some market having green days. This is not quite as strong as you think. Anyways, that's all for today.